You are now listening to the Friends of Rugby podcast. Relax your anus. Balls. Thick thighs. Camille Shat. Where's his neck? Eddie Jones. You're fucked, mate. We're nice now.
One, we are recording.
Boreda.
Mngomezulu.
Sacha Mngomezulu was denied a bank loan.
Sacha Mngomezulu. Mngomezulu?
Better.
Better?
I don't know. I'm not.
We're going to have to say this name a lot.
Yeah.
Mngomezulu.
Sacha Mngomezulu.
I got to practice that.
Yeah. You're doing good. It's better than it was yesterday.
Mngomezulu.
Yeah. We already sound like patronizing white people.
I sound like fucking Dracula. Mngomezulu.
Yeah. He's good though, isn't he? He's good though.
He is going to be a rock star.
Yeah.
If you don't know who we're talking about, people, you will.
Of course they do.
Hello, friends. You're listening to the Friends of Rugby.
Welcome.
It's some big news. We're branching out into other podcasts.
Oh, we are?
Yeah.
Like we or you?
You and me.
Oh, what are we doing?
The Friends of Chakra.
The Friends of Chakras?
Yeah, we just talk about our chakras.
I thought we were talking about Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon. We were talking about movies earlier as well.
Oh, we'll have the Friends of Movies podcast.
Friends of movies. I'm not the friend of that movie. It's shit.
The Friends of Shitty Movies.
Yeah.
How was your weekend, Frank?
Yeah, it was all right. I went out a wee bit drinking last night.
Yeah.
Didn't drink too much, actually. And me and you watched some rugby yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got a donair.
We did get a donair.
Delicious Canadian classic, a donair.
You missed the... too bad you weren't with me when you watched the first game.
Yeah. I was helping a friend move. But that sounded like... I'm a bit disappointed because, and I know we'll talk about it, that Argentina, Australia was not as exciting as the first game. I was expecting big things from both. One of them delivered, one of them didn't.
I thought they were both pretty fucking...
Yeah, but objectively, Box New Zealand was more entertaining. Yeah.
Best of the best.
No, but it was a better game.
Best of the best.
It was a more exciting game, wasn't it? Like, there's more skillful rugby on display.
So where do you want to start talking?
Okay, we're going to start really hot today. We're going to talk about the Haka. Before the game even started, there was controversy.
That's going to lead into this game.
Right. We're going to talk about the Haka, and then we're going to talk about the game. But they are part and parcel.
I want to mention something else first.
Okay.
Your favorite man.
Louis Rees-Zammit?
How'd you know?
He's coming home?
He's coming home.
Fuck him. Let's talk about rugby.
No, let's talk about Louis Rees-Zammit. He didn't make the NFL.
Do you know what? I want to talk about rugby.
We are talking about rugby.
Fine.
I love Welsh. Welsh rugby is my favorite comedy show.
Not Australian rugby?
No, because you guys have like
They're two different brands of comedy, aren't they?
Yes.
One's observational humor, one's political satire.
It's like what you said yesterday, how like you just imagine like your two like once a generational talents, just one chooses England and the other one goes to the NFL.
Yeah.
Like you got gold comedy there.
That was funny, wasn't it?
Yeah.
See, I wasted my A material when we were eating a fucking donair yesterday.
our best pod material came from yeah, we wasted eating donairs.
Yeah. From a rugby point of view, that is what's frustrating. It's like Manuel Feiwaboso decides he's English. Louis Rees-Zammit decides he's playing a whole different fucking sport. Half our country retires. And we're sat there going, what the fuck?
I just think there's like the revelation of him not making the NFL. I think there was a lot of people who were like, he's never going to do it.
Yeah, and they were right.
And they were right.
Yeah, seems like it. I think he'll give it another year on that practice team that he's on.
I think he's going to be in the Six Nations.
You said that yesterday. I thought that's probably a bit soon. I could see it the year after.
Because I could see now that his career's in doubt.
Yeah.
That he's going to be wasting his time on a practice squad.
Yeah.
Rugby clubs are going to come.
They're going to come for him.
Their checkbooks are going to be open, and now he's going to be missing out on money.
That was the thing that surprised me. I thought he was making significantly more money just being on the practice team for the Kansas Cities than he would be playing for Gloucester. I was wrong. Gloucester were paying him. But if he had been playing for the Kansas Cities, he'd be making a lot more money.
He would have.
But he's not. So it's irrelevant.
So the fact that he missed out on that.
Yeah.
And clubs in Europe are going to be offering him like big paydays,
Yeah.
he's gonna weigh his options.
Yeah.
And knowing like he's a young guy, they're gonna come with checkbooks and money. He's like, okay, I could chase this dream,
I think he's still going to chase
or
that
lose
dream a
out.
bit
But
more.
he could lose out on a lot of money.
I don't think he's that motivated by money. He's always going to be rich, isn't he?
Is he?
I mean, yeah.
Because he could be making
He could be making more, but he's not exactly poor now, is he?
Especially when you're
team.
young and in your prime, don't you want to be making the most money you can?
If I was in his shoes, I'd be thinking, money's not my issue right now. Like living my dream is my concern, and I think he's going to give this a good go. So he'll probably stay and play for the Jacksonville Pumas. And
I think a Premiership club is probably going to offer him a big payday,
yeah,
a more like significantly more than he's making now,
yeah,
and then he could take that. He can take playing his money that he'll be missing that he's making from Wales,
yeah.
and he's going to jump
I guess we'll have to see.
because it's a waste of talent.
He doesn't think so.
And it's football. Like fucking football sucks.
Yeah, he doesn't think so.
No,
He thinks it's great. He
I
loves
don't.
it.
It was like how I told you yesterday. The average game
Yeah.
in football, 3 hours.
Yeah.
The average time in play is
Yeah.
11 minutes.
John
11 minutes of
Kerwin
sports.
would have an aneurysm, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
Let's get the ball.
He'd be trying
get
to cut
ball
the whole
flying.
sport.
Yeah, he would. Yeah.
45 to an hour of commercials per game.
Yeah.
Average 100 commercials a person watches in NFL.
That's
game.
disgusting,
In
isn't
one
it?
game.
That is disgusting.
100
Just
commercials.
cramming all that shit down your throat while they're trying to maybe watch a bit of sport. It's fucking horrible.
You don't get to see them here, but if you go to the States and you watch the games in the States too, it's all pharmaceutical commercials.
Yeah.
It's all.
Ask your doctor
just-
about
yeah.
diarrhea medicine.
And it has like that huge like disclaimer at the bottom,
Yeah.
and they say it really fast. And
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like that's the thing. Like you know, Louis Rezamet, he doesn't want to be involved with that.
No.
He needs to like wake up and be like, okay, I need to come home.
Come back to sensible places.
Yeah,
where people
come
are-
back to the real sport.
Can you imagine your house is on fire, right? And then the firefighter's there and he's got some kind of fire extinguisher. And you're like, can you use this fire extinguisher? I heard it's better for the environment. And I saw it in a commercial. And they'd be like, I'm trying to save your fucking life. The fuck is get out of my fucking way. So I went to my doctor and they were like, you know, you've got a serious life-threatening condition. Here's your medication. The TV told me to ask you about this. And they were like, shut the fuck up and take these tablets or you'll die. Like, you know, the fuck is wrong with you? When do you ask your doctor about a medication? Jesus Christ.
It's America.
It's America. That's my right to choose.
It's my. I heard on a podcast that actually
Joe
I
Rogan
shouldn't
told
be
me to eat this.
Joe Rogan told me to eat this, so I'm actually going to eat these beetroots instead of take this medication,
It's
doctor.
like, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah.
Other than that, I
Other
don't
than
want
that.
to talk about Louis Rees-Zammit too much, but yeah, that's a ridiculous amount of game time, isn't it? Like, what did you say?
11 minutes.
11 minutes?
Yeah.
For 3 hours of getting...
3 hours a game, you get you watch 11 minutes of sport.
Yeah.
But now you got to think about too is like the millions and millions of dollars that these guys are making.
Yeah.
Like how many dollars they make per minute.
It's
Because that
mental.
means if there's only like an average of 11 minutes per NFL game, like a player
That is a
is
good point.
probably only playing half of that.
Yeah, because when there's these like international football soccer players who make, you know, comparable income, you know,
Yeah.
hundreds of millions a year, they're playing a 90-minute game.
Yeah.
But if I'm playing, and here's the thing, if it's 10 minutes, and they've got 3 different teams, right? There's the attackers, the defenders, and the kicking guys.
Yeah.
That's you're playing a third of 11 minutes, and you're getting paid hundreds of millions. That is mental.
Yeah. It's insane.
Yeah, that is mental.
So maybe he technically is if you're gonna put hours and minutes to compare to dollars,
Yeah.
he's making like probably way more playing football
Yeah.
because he's working way less.
We haven't had a conspiracy in a while, and I'm brewing one up here. Here's my conspiracy. Louis Rees-Zammit is lazy. He was sick of playing 80 minutes of a sport, and he's like, I could go football and play 2 or 3 minutes and get paid more if
Yeah.
I'm good at it. So
Yeah.
he's working his ass off in training so he can sit there play 2 or 3 minutes of American football.
Yeah.
He's lazy, man. That's
He's
my
like,
conspiracy.
oh, this is great.
Yeah.
I feel good every week.
Yeah. It's not waking up like he's been in a car accident every Sunday morning. Like,
Yeah. Because you're basically doing what you're doing in a football game, but for 80 minutes straight, and
Yeah.
it's like doesn't stop.
yeah, you heard it here first. Louis Rees-Zammit is lazy. That's why he left rugby.
Speaking of lazy, let's talk about the Haka.
Oh, love it. Good segue.
Let's get into Haka. So what happened? What happened with the Haka?
Here's what I heard. And
Alright.
that's all we ever talk about is what we heard. I heard that the South African DJ was playing some emotional damage tunes during the Haka. I heard there was a plane flew over the top during the Haka.
Yeah.
And someone let off a firework during the Haka.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the plane was deliberate, but it's the way people are talking makes it sound like it was a deliberate thing.
It probably was.
Probably. They're just fucking with him.
Yeah.
Here's my opinion, which isn't exactly original.
That's in your head.
He is in your head.
Yeah.
He's in your Haka's head now.
He's in your Haka's
He's
head.
everywhere. He's in your cupboard, in your kitchen. He's fucking everywhere. Like, this isn't like a new opinion, but it's like, if you get to sing your national anthem and do a Haka, people can fuck with one of them. Probably they're going to fuck with the Haka because that's like it's cool. It's a cool cultural display.
Mm-hmm.
But they get to do it at you is nonsense.
Yeah.
You have to stand there and put up with them screaming at you for 30 seconds before you're about to do a violent
pumped up.
What you got
dance?
pumped up in your little changing room, not your little changing room, but you're all pumped up like fucking get 'em boys. You go out and you got to sit there quietly where people yell at you, and they'll be like, "No, you can do anything. You can do a V shape. You can stand in a line. You can make eye contact with us." It's not the same.
No.
It's not like, okay, if you're allowed to shout at me, I can stand there going, "Fuck off, you wanker. We're gonna fucking mess you up." Like,
Like scream at them.
Yeah, it's a war dance, right? Let's
100%.
have a fucking war hype off,
100%. Yeah, it's a war dance. I think it's a huge advantage.
I think it is an advantage, yeah.
It gives an advantage. It just gives a mental advantage. You get to do this like crazy, very intimidating.
Yeah.
Like I remember when I first saw the Haka.
Yeah.
I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Like,
Yeah.
it looks intimidating.
And don't get me wrong, like that. All that things I said is like, it's cool as fuck.
Yeah.
I do like it. I do like it, but do it at a different time.
I would never want a situation where the All Blacks are not allowed to do the Haka.
Me too, 100%, 100%.
I want, but the reaction, like you can't, like I wouldn't, you wouldn't be able to like go and grab them while they're doing the Haka.
Yeah.
But you should be able to do whatever you want.
I agree.
Instead of like, you can't like disrupt the Haka, like you can't
No,
like
you can't.
push them and shit like that,
No,
or
because you may as well have a fight
or
then.
grab them,
Yeah.
and shit while they're doing it. But like, if you want to get in their face,
Yeah.
with the whole team, surround them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've seen some.
That's what I was joking about. It's like, the New Zealand, you can do whatever you want. And some people are like, oh, we made a V shape. And it's like, oh, scary, you made a V shape. Like, fucking whatever.
I've seen some really like odd reactions to the All Blacks. I forget what it was, but there was a tour or something like that with some national team, and they hired some like Maori consultant to deal with the Haka, and he decided that they would stand on the field in like multiple different spots around the field, and then like to watch the Haka, and then they got
there's a guy in the stands, like,
and they got blasted anyways, and then at the end of the day they're like, we found out that guy was just all bullshit, and then, like there was just nothing to. It's like, if you stand like this, it counteracts the Haka. So they're like,
if your job title is counter hacker consultant, then you've hired a charlatan.
Yeah, you are. Yeah, so at the same time, if you guys, as we're doing this practice to, these are the real things to counter the Haka. I also have this snake oil you guys could buy in my trunk.
You've got to put these crystals in your pocket.
He's hired some guy. He's not even Maori.
Yeah, just some white guy.
Yeah.
But like, I understand where they're coming from. It's a war dance. It's tradition. You're putting down a challenge, right? Like, in our culture and tradition, we're saying, we're going to fuck you up. And this is like, a deep, significant part of the culture. I respect the fuck out of all that. That's cool. But like, the whole, like, you have to behave within these parameters while we shout at you and threaten to murder you. Fuck that. Do what the fuck you want, I wouldn't even be, like, if you want to stay in the changing room, that's fine as well. Like, you don't have to be there and listen to it,
I think that France had the best response to Haka.
What do they do? Make a circle?
No, they were all linked in arms, and they just walked right up into them, like face to face.
Yeah.
And what's that big barbarian motherfucker that used to play for France?
Sebastian Chabal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was like in the center, and he's like in their
Snarling.
face. Yeah, and he's snarling and shit, yelling.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was great. That was perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, when people do that thing in boxing where they square up to each other for the cameras. Mm-hmm. The Haka is like, I'm allowed to square up to you, but you're not allowed to move. I'm allowed to stand there and spit in your face and shout at you, but you're not allowed to. Or you can turn around if you want.
I also love when England drowns out the Haka with the swing low.
Oh, it's the cringiest. Yeah. Oh.
And you can't even hear them.
No.
Yeah,
No.
I love that. Damien McKenzie was talking about. I don't know if he was talking about it, but he was getting booed while he was lining up for the kicks.
Yeah.
Real hard.
Yeah.
Oh no.
I've actually changed my tune on that. I used to be one of these like purists, like respect the kicker, don't make any noise. But now I think like, fuck it, do what you want.
Yeah.
The different stadiums, different rules, different crowds, different rules.
Yeah.
Why, if that's the case, you have to be quiet for the kick. Why shouldn't you have to be quiet for the whole game when they're trying to concentrate on playing the other aspects of rugby?
Right.
Do you know what I mean? Like, why is that specific part? Why are we all like hallowing it? Fuck it, like make noise, you know?
Yeah. Especially when you're in someone else's house.
Yeah.
They're screaming at you.
Yeah.
Like
Put
that's
up
the
with
fans. The fans like go there for the experience.
Right.
Right. To cheer their team on.
Yeah.
They're part of the team.
They're the ones giving the money to it, right?
Yeah. They are. Yeah.
Yeah.
If without them, the team doesn't even exist.
Doesn't happen. Yeah, 100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Now there's a difference between like throwing shit at you.
Yeah.
You know,
like yelling racist things and throwing things like fuck that.
Exactly.
We don't want football stuff coming in.
yeah, but like if they're just booing and
Yeah.
cheering and whistling
Yeah.
and trying to like and screaming,
Have at her.
have at her.
Yeah, I agree. I've changed my tune on that. I used to be like all traditional, but now I'm like, no,
Encourage
fuck
it.
Yeah, no, 100%.
Yeah,
Like, have a
because
go.
that's how they contribute to their team.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, that's why like home. There's something called home field advantage is a thing.
Yeah, if you're allowed to brag about how high up your stadium is and how you're going to not have enough oxygen, everyone else is allowed to be like, welcome to fucking Cardiff. We're going to scream at you.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Exactly. I'm glad we're on the same page. With that.
me too. Me too. I think, but like I said, I've changed my tune a bit, to be honest. I'm not so traditional anymore.
I want to have a conversation with a guy that's like full on thinks you need to like be silent and respect the Haka.
Yeah. He wears a suit every day, and he's on a board and he's English.
Yeah.
It's a very traditional guy. Went to a private school.
Or he's a guy, he's like an old Kiwi guy that's on a board,
Yeah.
but he only sings the national anthem when it gets to the English part. But for some reason, when it comes to the Haka, he's all about it.
Yeah. Any advantage.
Yeah, he just sits there like, and then when the English words come in for the New Zealand anthem, he just starts singing real loud. Yeah, that's the guy. That's the guy that cares.
Yeah. I don't want to talk to him. Fuck him.
Let's just have him on the pod.
Yeah. Your time has passed, old man. We're yelling at the kicker.
Yeah. Do you want to get into the game?
We should talk about rugby, shouldn't we?
We won't be the Haka is rugby.
It's part of rugby. It is part of rugby.
Well, let's get into All Blacks, Springboks.
They hacked their hearts out. It didn't fucking matter. They lost.
Match of the match.
This was a good game. What I didn't watch it live.
This was probably one of the best rugby games I've seen in a long time.
Tell me about it.
Man, rugby just never ceases to like always up the ante with me. Like it just always like impresses me. Like I've seen other games that are really good.
Yeah.
But I just love when I'm
top 10 games of all time for you.
I love when I walk out of when I stop when I'm finished watching a game where I can say words like that was one of the best games ever.
Yeah.
I love that.
We are doing it quite often recently.
I think since all the other national teams are getting better.
Yeah. It's becoming more competitive.
And it's more competitive.
Yeah.
You're getting that word is getting used a lot more now. Like, this is the best game ever. This is the best game in the last 10 years. This is the best game I've ever seen them play.
Yeah.
Because the competition's higher now.
It is true.
It's not just the All Blacks or Springboks walking in somewhere and just destroying someone and walking out, and then it's like, oh, you knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
There's just so many surprises. You got Argentina going into New Zealand now. It's the second time they've won there.
Yeah.
Like doing a job.
Yeah. The equilibrium is shifting, isn't it?
And it's great.
It is good. I think this year as well, I saw in the Gallagher Premiership one of my favorite ever club games. And the club game was it was Northampton and I think it was Northampton Exeter or something. It was one of the best. It was like international standard, back and forth, high. And here's the thing: all that stuff you said is true about all these teams getting to other people's levels. Everyone's getting better, but also everyone's getting more skillful because you can watch a close game like Australia Argentina, but it's error strewn. It's kind of disappointing because there's so many errors. But there's such a higher skill level across the board now, and that's what makes all these games exciting, right?
Having more competition, having things more competitive.
Yeah.
Also makes things more exciting.
Yeah.
That's why the Prem last season was so exciting.
Yes.
Because everyone was beating everyone.
And Newcastle. But yeah.
Newcastle.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. But it just makes for good viewing.
It does. Yeah, I'm actually excited for the Gallagher Premiership this year. Never said that before in my life.
Now that being said, when I was watching that game, it was one of the first games I ever watched with the All Blacks where I was expecting them to still lose, even though they were winning.
Tell me more.
Like, as I was watching that game, I just had this like confidence that like the Springboks were going to pull it out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it was weird. It was weird. I've never watched an All Black game where I thought I was expecting them. I was expecting them to lose. It's kind of like watching like a Leinster game and Leinster's playing, and then you're just expecting the other team to lose.
Yeah.
Because it's Leinster.
Yeah.
Like, that's how good the Springboks and resourceful is, I think, is a good word for that team.
Yeah, that's right. They used their substitutions so well.
I wrote notes. Let's get out my notes.
Oh, is that a leather-bound notebook?
Yeah.
I haven't ever seen this before. Right, yeah, you should tell me about it. Tell me your notes in the game.
See if we got a little string to separate the pages here.
Very nice.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, fucking Mike.
Is that moleskin?
No, that's not moleskin. It's probably plastic, actually. Here's my notes that I wrote for this game.
All right.
Note number 1.
Can you tell me like you're talking to me instead of just reading from a bit of paper?
How do I do that?
It's like you got to kind of act it a bit, you know? Mngomezulu. Just read your notes. Just read your notes.
It's not Daniel Day-Lewis
All
here.
right, just read your fucking notes.
What the fuck you want? The first note. What the fuck?
It was a cold night.
It was a cold night. So my first note was TJ Perenara.
Yeah.
He's a cunt.
Oh. Wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
All right.
But he's back.
Elaborate. Why
I
is he a
missed him.
cunt?
Oh, he's just always... did you see he got a penalty right away?
Yeah.
Like right away. No warning.
Yeah, yeah.
Like the ref just went right at him. He's like, penalty for you talking shit. I loved that.
I miss the dickhead scrum halves.
I think he just... I was worried because when Aaron Smith, like, basically is retired from international rugby,
Yeah.
I was like, man, the All Blacks are going to miss that.
Yeah, they are.
Because he is a shit disturber on the field.
Yeah.
He's grabbing the balls away from the other players. He's talking
yeah.
shit. He's screaming at the ref the whole time.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, they're going to need that. And TJ filled that fucking role perfectly. And he's good. I love him.
Yeah.
He's
class.
really good.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it's almost, like, I know, like, there's been talk like TJ's slower than Aaron Smith.
He is a bit slower.
But I don't think the quality drops off that much.
For me, Aaron
He's
Smith...
highly competitive. I really I have time for TJ Perenara.
Me too. He's excellent.
He's one of my favorite. He's probably one of my favorite players in the world.
I thought Aaron Smith last couple of years was, except for DuPont, the best rugby player in the world. So I've got big time for Aaron Smith. TJ Perenara is also excellent.
Yeah, I thought he got overlooked a lot.
Yeah.
As the best scrum half.
Yeah, me too.
He's like...
He was just slightly living in DuPont's shadow, but he was still unreal.
Yeah.
He was excellent.
Like, there are things that DuPont can do that, like, Aaron Smith can't.
Right.
But Aaron Smith is...
He was the best 9 in the world for a long time.
Oh.
Yeah.
And arguably at the same time as DuPont, too.
Yeah. No, true.
Like, there's things that he did that DuPont...
In a 9 shirt, for sure. Yeah, I agree.
But I think I loved seeing TJ Perenara back in there.
Yeah.
I think he was just in his element in that game. I thought he had a good game too.
He loved it, didn't he?
Yeah.
I always say as well, I was saying this on the weekend to one of these like guys on our team, if your 9 isn't a complete dickhead, you're doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. He has to also be the most...
a nice 9.
You can't have a nice 9. You've also got to be the most competitive guy on the field, right? You have to want your team to win so much you're willing to do some fucked up shit.
The only time I've ever seen a player not shake hands in a rugby game.
Yeah.
We played Grand Prairie.
Yeah.
And our 9,
Yeah.
old Logan there,
Oh, yeah.
just fucking haunted the other 9.
Yeah.
The whole game.
Yeah.
Stepping on his feet.
I remember that game.
Pushing him.
Yeah.
Slapping the back
I
of his
remember that
head.
game.
Saying shit in his ear.
Yeah.
After the game, this guy would not shake Logan's hand. He was so pissed.
Yeah. I talked to that guy in the parking lot.
And they just like got in his car and left.
Yeah. And they also, because Logan had a good game.
Yeah.
They didn't give him man of the match to spite him because it was like he was such a prick. We're just not going to give him man of the match.
Even though he was like our best player.
Yeah, I played 10 in that game. I remember the whole game I was looking at him going, he's going to get in a fight. He's going to get in a fight. Yeah,
because he was just all over that guy. He was bullying him.
He was bullying him. And he was probably at a foot of height on the guy as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, that was funny.
And that scrum half that they had in Great Prairie, he's like this jacked little guy.
I played against him 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he's not a soft guy.
No.
So he was like
he's a good player. He's just a bit
visibly
nice, though. He's a bit nice for a 9. I remember that.
I was talking to him after. He's like, "That's not rugby. That's just not rugby." And I was like, I'm pretty sure that's rugby.
No.
Like he's doing his job.
Shake his hand and have a beer, just like the
rest of us. A good scrum half is someone you're supposed to really fucking hate.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's,
100%.
he's just playing his role.
Yeah.
So I thought TJ played his role really well.
Yeah.
Second note I have here.
Yeah.
Shot clock shit.
Oh, that does annoy me.
Okay, so the first kick, DMAC, shot clock ends He's just still standing around,
Gets
takes
another
a
4
shot.
or 5 seconds.
So I'm thinking, the shot clock must be off on the TV.
Yeah.
And then the next kick, Sacha Mngomezulu
Nice.
is going in for the kick.
Yeah.
He gets whistled on the shot clock, which was exactly as what was showing on TV. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
There's mistakes, and then it's like that feels like preferential treatment. It's that bad.
Yeah. The next kick right after that,
Yeah.
Damien McKenzie goes over the shot clock.
Yeah.
So, and then he just stands around and then he kicks it. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on here? So
it's like World Rugby wants us to have a fucking tinfoil hat on sometimes, isn't it?
I just, if the shot clock is wrong on the TV, why even show it?
I agree.
Now you're confusing the shit out of me.
And you're pissing off people.
You're pissing off people because now I think, or if it's correct, what the fuck?
Half the nation thinks you're cheating.
Yeah. And
half the nation thinks the ref is corrupt.
Yeah.
Just, it's a bad look, isn't it?
Like, just keep it with the ref. Like, keep the shot clock with the ref and the player.
I told you that yesterday, didn't I? The ref has to be in control of the shot clock 100%. We don't need to see it. Maybe he gives a hand up to the opposing team, like does a 5-second countdown on his hand or something. But he has to be in control of it. You can't have one machine or a guy in a box doing it and him counting it.
Yeah, because in the Argentina Wallabies game, there was some shot clock fuckery.
There was, right?
And the ref's like, oh, it's wrong. He's like,
I know,
dealing with this whole mess.
Yeah.
And it's like, what? Okay.
And then the game just ended, and Argentina looked pissed off, didn't they?
You guys were like so horny to speed up the game.
Yeah.
You made this new rule.
Yeah.
But now the players are all fucking confused. So you added a shot clock.
Yeah.
But now everyone's fucking confused.
Now the shot clock's fucking wrong.
You just made this situation inevitably worse.
Yeah.
By trying to it's just stupid.
It is stupid.
I was like, fuck, guys. Like, this is what you get when you fuck around with everything.
Too often as well.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't hate the shot clock as an idea. You've just got to get it right 100% of the time.
And then what is it? 1 minute, 30 seconds? It's always different.
I know. Can we just stay
on?
with one rule for a little bit of time?
Yeah. It's always changing. It's just a revolving door.
Yeah.
I don't like it. All Blacks fronting up in the scrum. I was surprised by that.
I wasn't. I say this all the time. When people are surprised the All Blacks are physical, I'm like, what the fuck have you been watching? They are always good at the scrum. Don't get me wrong, though. The Springboks probably, you'd expect them to be better, but not significantly better.
I was surprised by how they kind of dominated a few scrums.
I wasn't. I've seen that happen a lot of times where South Africa's strength is not in necessarily their front row. It's in the depth they've got at front row. The ability to bring on props who are as good, sometimes better than their starters, is their strength in the front row, right? Their actual front row is very fucking good, but the All Blacks have never had a bad scrum. Ever. So I'm going to shoot that right down. That sounded really like I'm having a go at you, but,
No, I agree.
Okay. But yeah, it was impressive though, wasn't it? It was a good scrum.
The whole physicality of both teams was impressive.
It was brutal, that game, wasn't it?
It was.
Khaleesi looked like he'd come out of a bare knuckle
shit.
boxing fight after that. His face was messed up.
It was some legit trench war shit. I was like, someone's gonna die in this game.
Yeah, genuinely.
I would not want to be on the field in that game.
I think it was an Island Springboks game in the World Cup. That game was brutal as well. Like, they were doing everything but trying to murder each other, weren't they? Like, holy.
What was your big take from this game?
The All Blacks aren't there. They're still, they're playing the world champions. But this was the game 5 years ago. The All Blacks win for me. They never go more than one game without putting in an incredible performance.
They're missing some. They're playing. I feel like they're playing they're holding on to a style that's 10 years too old.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday, right? So a tell for me is the way the modern winger is evolving. Someone like James Lowe, Cheslin Colby, and Curtly Andress are in that very game.
Yeah,
they work their arse off. They appear. They'll try to jackal the ball. They'll come up in the centre. They'll come up in the middle of the field. The wingers these days work their arse off. Caleb Clark, he's good. Will Jordan is good, but they stick to their position on the field, and that's really telling because
they're waiters.
They do wait, and I think there's something going on at the All Blacks because they know they're skillful enough to get it to their wing through the hands very quickly. So they're not saying to him, "Come and find the ball." They're saying, "We'll get the ball to you, right? We know we will, and you're going to score," and they will score. Like Caleb Clark had a good try, but the fact that the modern game now with the Springboks, with Ireland, with France as well do this, England do it a little bit, but not as much. Every guy on the field has to be able to have multiple roles, and they have to be good at lots of different things. I don't see that with the All Blacks so much because their base skill level is already very good, better than anyone else's. But that means that your specialist role remains your specialist role because we trust you to do extra little bits, but we don't need you to come looking for that work. You know,
it's weird because it feels like they're kind of falling behind, but they've revolutionized so many things, like the agile prop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, the versatile prop.
Yeah, the wing prop was totally an All Blacks thing.
All Blacks, like bringing in, like, you know, these forwards aren't just big guys to like run into traffic. They can juke, they can jive, they can offload. They can do it. Like they brought that in.
They did.
Right, and now you have like everyone's basically a back.
Yeah,
when you're playing the All Blacks.
Yeah,
but their structure.
They revolutionized the pod structure of forward play. Right.
Maybe Razor was trying to bring the All Blacks back to that style where they were dominating, but that style was them getting like pumped, and then whenever the ball would fall down or get loose, they would like score a try. So they were just relying on fuck ups. Yeah. But the teams are so structured, so trained, everything's just so regimented. Yeah. That those opportunities don't come that much anymore.
No, and you can't rely on Ardie Surveyor to win you every single turn. You've got to put a few more guys in the breakdown if you want to win that ball, right? And they don't. They'd rather have one guy in there and have more guys in defense, which makes sense. But that means you're not going to get as much turnover ball. You're not going to get as much chaos rugby, which they have historically thrived on, right? We just don't see that because you're right. Like teams are way more structured and way more efficient at holding onto the ball now. That was Ireland's blueprint for beating them. Don't give them the fucking ball. And they didn't, right? And that's why they fucking won.
And yeah, because they do, like, historically, All Blacks relied on the scraps to get tries. Yeah. Yeah. Like the other team will fuck up and then we just capitalize because they're really good at when the defense is not structured. Yeah, yeah. But when the other team now has, like, when their defense is set up, All Blacks aren't going anywhere.
No.
Right?
They've really got to work hard. And it's impressive the tries they got. They were well-worked tries.
And these fuck-up moments aren't happening as much anymore.
And historically, that would give the All Blacks 2 or 3 more tries, and it would make the scoreline like 40-15. Mm-hmm. Whereas now, the scoreline, all of their games, except for that Argentina hammering, have been close. Those 2 England games were close. That Argentina loss was close. Mm-hmm. The Springboks, this was a close game. Because they're not getting those 2-3 extra tries from loose play, they look human all of a sudden, right? Mm-hmm. Another thing I wrote about All Blacks is game management. They don't kick for points. What are you doing? Like, you're playing the Springboks, kick the fucking points, right? And then they miss a couple of kicks.
It's like the equivalent of a guy saying, you can't flex cardio.
Yeah. Yeah,
you can't flex. You can't flex a conversion. You can't flex a 3-point penalty.
Yeah, and then he plays a game of soccer and he's absolutely gassed. That's what happened to the All Blacks yesterday. It's like you focused on one thing too much and you look like an idiot. Their game management's bad though.
Yeah, they do. They leave points. They have opportunity to get points. Yeah, their kicking is not that great. Yeah, I think they had 2 of their tries. They weren't able to convert. Yeah, maybe they just don't have the confidence in their kicking.
No. But
they haven't had a good kicker since Carter.
No, that's true. No, I don't think they have.
There was no one as competent at kicking.
And he was the best.
And
I remember when Lee Halfpenny would just nail every single kick for us, right? That was our weapon. Like, we'll take a penalty in our own half. We'll let you give one away because he'll kick the points. That was Dan Carter as well. But they had a whole other arsenal of tools that they would score from. And that kind of leads me to the next thing I was going to say about him as well. The discipline was shocking. Jesus Christ.
I've said this so many times. Every time we see them lose, it's the discipline that gets the better of them.
They look desperate, right? Because it was a really intense physical game. Yeah. And maybe I'll talk about the ref in another time, but everyone was just laying all over the.
God bless Sanzar and Super Rugby. That's all I gotta say.
They don't care about the breakdown, do they? They don't
God
care
bless
about
Super Rugby.
They don't care
because Super Rugby is fucking them.
It is.
It's building these players to have bad habits.
Yeah, yeah.
Right, because they're able to take more risk in Super Rugby. They play more on the edge because there's just the repercussions are just not there. So now they got to go into international rugby. Yeah. And they get penalized to fuck. The penalties were 14-5.
Yeah, it's mental. Yeah.
They basically just, and then it was 10 of them were in their own half.
And all this stuff I'm saying, which is really critical, I thought they were going to win that game because for about 40 minutes, they looked totally dominant, right? They looked like they knew what they were doing. They were working the shapes so that they could get the ball out wide. They knew what they were doing. But then they just started getting desperate, and then Rassi's substitutions were just way better. Like Kwagga Smith had a hell of a game. I want to talk about South Africa separately because right now I'm on my little here's what New Zealand need to change and do. Because actually now I've seen them play 5 games since Scott Robertson's come in. I can kind of see more what he's trying to do now. And you're right, he's trying to do what they did 10 years ago in a world that has changed. And now when that's not working, they look desperate and they're trying these kind of things where they're flopping all over the breakdown, they're off their feet, they're coming in at the side. And what they used to get away with now is getting called. So it's hard to see them. They'll beat a lot of other teams. Because they're still a very good.
They can still beat the Springboks. I think
they can still beat them next week, no doubt. Right? Let's not forget that was a close game, right? And they could have won that, but the All Blacks 5 years ago would have won that, and they would have won it by about 10 points. That time has changed, right? So we should talk about the Springboks though, because they won that game and they won it well. What we got any notes?
Sacha Mngomezulu.
Nice.
Oh.
I keep saying nice like I know. You could be saying it totally wrong. He is class though, isn't he? I was telling you yesterday.
That 60-meter kick.
Jesus. Like the day South Africa find a 10 who is good at running, breaking the line as fast, and can kick and can manage the game is the day that no one ever beats the Springboks again.
He is the new age. Like he is the new age 10. This is the 2020s 10.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Andre Pollard, he's good.
Yeah.
But he was like the stiff, like captain, like Johnny Sexton, Dan Bigger, George Ford.
Yeah, exactly.
Like the old classic 10.
Yeah.
Did his kicks. Distributed the ball, but wasn't like a maverick. And then you had like Finn Russell, who was like kind of breaking that. Like he kind of changed the whole mold. Like a 10 could do all this.
Yeah.
He's that Sacha kid. He's got everything.
He does. He's the complete package. Yeah.
And he's like 22, 23.
Remember in Lord of the Rings when Saruman bred orcs with humans and created an orc that could go around in daylight?
What's the Uruk?
The Urukai, which isn't actually true to the book.
Oh, it's not?
But anyway, that's a whole other thing. I'm not going to get into Lord of the Rings lore. But he's that.
He's the Urukai?
He's a hybrid perfect creature. Maybe a better analogy is the original Underworld movie where they have the werewolves and the vampires, and the main character is like a hybrid of a vampire and a werewolf.
I didn't know that.
Do you remember the Underworld movie?
That's
the original one?
Who's that girl that's in it?
Kate Beckinsale.
Oh, I love her.
And Michael Sheen, famous Welshman.
She's a hybrid?
No, the guy she's fucking in the film is.
Oh.
Yeah, she's kind of the main character.
I swear I saw that movie in junior high.
Probably, it's old.
Yeah.
I'm trying to make a really bad analogy, but all that stuff you just said, he's the werewolf lichen vampire
he's
hybrid.
Lichen. Isn't a lichen just a
werewolf? I'm liking
werewolf?
this lichen. I'm going off the fucking rails. But yeah, like you're right, like Sexton, Biggar. There was a mold of 10, right? There was the General and there was the Marcus Smith Maverick.
Yeah.
He's both. I'm so happy that South Africa found this guy because he is class. He's got big things ahead of him.
I'm actually jealous.
I mean, I'm scared. How are you going to beat the Springboks now?
Like, they're having some guys coming out of the woodwork. Like,
yeah. That talent factory doesn't stop, does it?
No, it doesn't.
Jesus. And they're not just producing 7-foot locks anymore. They're producing guys in every position. That's what's scary about it.
There was even another guy, too. What was his fucking name? That they brought on. I hope he doesn't have a hard...
there was another debut guy, wasn't there? Yeah, I forgot his name.
I just hope he doesn't have a hard name to... Alright Low?
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Alright Low?
Yeah.
That guy was a monster.
Yeah.
I was like, who the fuck is this? They bring this guy on? I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There were so many fucking guys that had just a ball in game.
They did. They played really well. And that's weird because there was, like I said, there was a time where I thought the All Blacks were really in control of the game. But when Kwagga Smith came on, I thought he was a real game changer. Like he wrestled control of the momentum back,
But they shouldn't have won because Bungie knocked it on.
All right. So I had a little journey with that try.
Did you?
I had a little journey. I watched it and I was like, how the fuck did that get awarded? And then I was on the forums and the Reddits and everyone was just having a bit of a debate about it. And then I read a rugby law, which totally changed my mind. I'm going to read it to you. So 11.5b in the knock-on section of the rugby laws or rules or whatever, a player rips or knocks the ball from an opponent and the ball goes forward off off the hand or arm of the controlling player, that is not a knock-on. So if you've got the ball and I rip it from you and it comes forward from you, that is not a knock-on.
Yeah.
So if he loses control and it goes forward because one of the Barretts tries to rip it out of his arm, and then the ball lands on the floor and he plants his hand on it, that is a try. That is not a knock-on.
To me, when I watched it, because I watched it a few times, I wanted to see the part where the ball went forward.
It did go forward, but it was pulled by an All Black.
He knocks it back into Bungie with his hand. And then Bungie lands on the ball, basically. And he still kind of has the ball. Yeah,
the point is, he didn't lose control of it and knock it forward. It was ripped out of his possession. So the ball is not a knock-on. It's open play. All he's got to do is put his hand on it. All he's got to do is apply pressure, and that's a try. And that's what he did.
Yeah, I think there's like a lot of... Man, it's hard to be consistent because I see, like, when I see the play, I was like, oh, so who was it, Jordy or Bowden that went at him?
It was one of the Barretts, I think.
It was one of them for sure.
Yeah.
And when I saw it was that when he tries to get his hand under the ball and he knocks it out of like Bungie's like grip.
Yeah,
it goes back along his it goes back towards Bungie.
Right.
So I'm like, if
so
anything,
you're saying it's not even a knock on anyway.
If it is, it's a knock on from one of the Barrett brothers.
Right.
And then it's a penalty try.
Yeah.
So that's what I saw. I was like, where's the forward part of this? Like, I'm watching, I was like, there's no forward anything here.
Yeah.
And even if he loses it, it's like, I guess, like his whole momentum is going forward and the ball's not in his hand. So I guess, I don't know.
But the whole point of a knock-on is you've lost control, right? And he didn't. The ball was ripped from him. And
he's not losing control.
No, because it wasn't his action that caused it to happen.
Okay.
He didn't fumble it.
Yeah.
Even if I'm applying pressure to you by tackling and you fumble it, that's still your fuck up, right?
I think it's one of those tries that if it was called back, I wouldn't have cried about it.
Yes.
And it was called a try, I wouldn't have cried about it.
For me, it's just not controversial like people are making out. It's not actually... All that things I've said about it definitely being a try, yeah, you could debate that a little bit probably, even within the laws of the game. But it's not the most egregious thing I've seen even in the last few weeks.
It was like the All Black small try they had right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like people were bitching about that. And I was like, I guess. But you see something like that happen a lot.
Yeah. One thing I was going to say about the reffing, and particularly the breakdown, where I saw both teams, a little bit more the All Blacks, just fucking around at the breakdown. And I was thinking about like football, like soccer. What annoys me about it is if the referee says something, 10 guys will go up to him, they're pushing him, screaming. That just wouldn't happen in rugby, right? Like you get 10 guys screaming at the ref, all of you getting red cards or whatever, right? And it annoys me that we can't just have a game where the ref before is going to be like, I'm going to referee every single fucking infraction at that breakdown, so get ready for it.
It would just be a constant whistle.
It would. But then the next time it happens, everyone's like, don't fuck with this ref. Don't fuck with him because he will call it. Don't hold guys in the ruck. Don't be off your feet and lay on top of someone. Just get out of there. And as long as he can see you're making an effort and not deliberately making these infractions, he's not going to whistle. But we need a game where they enforce the fucking putting the ball in straight.
He kind of did that with TJ Perenara. Like right away, he gave him a penalty. Like it was like fucking 5 minutes.
I know,
and he's like, just whistle. He's like, you're fucking around.
Yeah.
He put an end to that right away.
And it's almost like reffing isn't about the rules. It's about the ref just saying, I'm in charge here. I'm going to dictate the flow of the game and not necessarily follow the rules the whole time. But I'm showing you the kind of game I want, where you're not mouthy and you're trying your best to play within the rules. So a referee almost is more like a conductor than an officiator now.
Yes.
And it has to be, because I'm thinking in that game, if he tries to referee every single tiny thing, it's fucking exhausting for him.
And it would be
non-stop whistling.
It would just be a whistle.
It would be. So like
it'd be like the FIFA World Cup in South Africa.
Oh, with the bloody vuvuzelas.
It would just be like
the
whole just be a constant vuvuzela.
Just like a wasp nest around your head the whole time. Yeah, but that's the thing. Like you either have to accept that the ref is trying to put on a show here. You have to trust the confidence of this conductor.
Yeah.
Or we have to get more than...
I think that's a really good word. That this is a exclusive. You heard it here first on the Friends of Rugby. The conductor.
The conductor.
They should change the name of the ref to the conductor.
It would almost make more sense, because then you would put up with some of the things they miss, right? And it's like, no, this is the style I want. And we would forgive French refs more where they're trying to do their fucking Art Nouveau expressionist refereeing, you know?
What I'm surprised about rugby, it's how long people have been watching rugby and how surprised they are still by the reffing.
Yeah.
The game is so complicated.
It's so complicated.
It's so fucking complicated.
Yeah.
Like no one can ref a perfect game.
No, they can't.
There's no such thing. It's never going to happen.
No,
and
no.
every ref having a different style
Yeah.
like makes every game different.
It does.
It brings a variable to the game that you can't call.
Yeah.
And I love that about the sport.
Yeah.
Like, that's something I really love. Like, it's just not all the same. It's not all regimented. Like,
it's almost like the ref is almost like a weather condition. We're playing in dry weather, it's going to be like this. It's playing in wet weather, it's going to be like this. We're playing with this ref, it's going to be like this. Get used to it.
And I'm surprised it hasn't been embraced, even though it's been like that the whole time.
Because ultimately...
That's what's unique about... like rugby, because it's such a complicated sport.
Yeah.
It's not a simple, easy sport like fucking soccer.
No.
Or it's not, or even league.
Yeah. Even league is much easier to
Like,
ref. There's no breakdown.
Imagine being a ref in league.
The only thing they've got to worry about is when people flop on the ground like a fish because the guy won't get off them.
Yeah. Hey, Mike Shea going 3 meters back.
Yeah. That's all they've got to bloody worry about. Yeah.
This line
they
right
don't
here.
care about high tackles, so they can't got to worry about that either.
They're on vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good time for them.
I think you either need to have... It is frustrating, though, because there's not a lot of consistency, even within the same game. And you either need to have 2 referees on the field, and they each have certain responsibilities, or you accept that this is his style.
It's rugby's curse, man. It's rugby's curse.
It is curse, yeah.
It's their curse for being the most dynamic sport there is.
Yeah.
Like, out of all the professional sports.
Yeah.
There's just so many variables, so many elements to the game.
Yeah.
So many things happening at once.
Yeah.
This is what you get.
Yeah. Yeah,
I think it's pretty good. And I like it. Like that's what attracted me. Like stuff like that attracted me to the sport.
Yeah, there's subtlety to it that doesn't exist in other sports, right?
Because I didn't know rugby existed until I was in my 20s.
Yeah, you came to the light. You're like a fat born again Christian.
Right? And I didn't even become a rugby fan until I was in my 30s.
You found God in your 30s.
Yeah.
Better late than never, you know?
So I think I'm a good person to speak on these kind of things, because people that grew up with rugby, they're just used to it. They're expecting certain things, like
yeah.
Right, but someone new coming to the picture, I'm like, no, like this. You guys should embrace this shit. This is what makes it different. This is what makes it good.
Yeah,
this is what makes it exciting.
Yeah,
like even the ref is a variable.
Yeah,
even the ref is a character in the game.
Yeah,
you know, they're like their own team.
Yeah,
it's like 3 teams playing.
Yeah,
I love it.
Me too. I think we've.
The only thing is the All Blacks. They gotta fix something up with their discipline.
They do.
But Super Rugby is just keeps
fucking.
But
ultimately that's what killed them. So the right outcome came from them being fucking
idiots,
ill-disciplined, right? So it wasn't like they were rewarded for ill-discipline.
I wonder what they're gonna do. Like, what do they because they're gonna go through this. Because I think they're gonna lose more games.
Yeah, me too.
And it's gonna get worse when they go to the Northern Hemisphere, I think.
I can see England beating them at Twickenham.
Because they're going to play Ireland. Ireland are going to fucking want to win that game.
Oh, yeah, that'll be a good game.
And they will win that game. I think they play France and England again.
Yeah, all games they could lose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I could see them losing. I can see them losing almost all their fucking...
There is an argument to not be too dramatic as well, though, because it was a close game against the number 1 in the world, right? They still played a hell of a game. So I'm not too worried about them. The world has just changed.
The fact that they had that game, and they gave it away.
Yeah.
And you're seeing that a lot more.
That's not very All Blacks of you.
No.
Things have changed.
Yeah.
Anyway, next game.
Is that all you have to say?
I think I said a lot.
Razzie? Anything about him?
I just love him. I've seen on some YouTube comments, remember those Chuck Norris jokes where people would be like, Chuck Norris doesn't do press-ups, he pushes the world away from him. Like, they've started to do Razzie jokes like that. There was one, it was like, the only thing that Razzie is scared of is nothing, so Razzie went and found nothing and killed it. Like, stuff. Saw that in a comment. It was pretty good.
Did you see the clip where he runs into the interview?
No.
Like there's like a South African pundit, and he's like talking on the field, mic, and then some guy, some like crew member, like walks up to him, starts talking, and he's like, "I'm on camera," and the guy like rolls away instead of walking out of the thing. He like ducks and rolls out of the screen like real dramatically, and then Razzie sees that and he runs up into the reporter guy, and he's just standing there like, "Okay, I'm ready." Like, trying to save the whole situation. It's great.
Oh my god,
yeah.
No, he's class. Yeah, and actually, he was a point of difference. His experience. Scott Robertson was outcoached a bit. I thought, the substitutions at the right time really made a difference.
I think I made a comment before, like the jump from he's been very successful at Super Rugby, And I think the jump from Super Rugby to international rugby has kind of shocked him a little bit.
Well, losing Leon McDonald hasn't helped either. Like there's going to be teething pains.
Their attack looked good.
That's what I think. That, you know, we're still talking about it and we're still being kind of dramatic. Ultimately, they're still a class rugby team. They've got to stick with him, is what I'm saying. I don't think he's doing anything too wrong. They've got to stick with him.
Yeah, it'd be fucking insane to get rid of him.
It would be, wouldn't it?
It's not like he's not going to... I think he just needs... It was going to take some time for him to get into the international test mode.
Yeah.
Because he's been coaching Super Rugby so long.
Yeah.
And it's completely different. It's such a step up.
It is. And Rassi's a seasoned international coach, you know?
Like we're talking like Scott Robertson's a very intelligent coach.
Right.
Very good coach.
Knows exactly what he's doing.
Right?
Yeah.
So even though like he's not having the dream start that I think a lot of Kiwis thought he was going to have.
Yeah.
It's not like he's not going to get there.
No.
And he's got all the talent for days.
Although, having said that, if Ian Foster were listening to us, he would be going, what the fuck? Why didn't I get fucking time to bed in? Why did everyone hate me?
Yeah.
You know?
And he brought them to a World Cup final.
Yeah, and everyone's still like, fuck off, Ian. Scott's here now.
Shut up.
Daddy's home.
We got God.
Yeah. So I would feel bad for Ian Foster in that conversation.
New Zealand owes him an apology.
They do.
They need to make like an official, like bring him to like whatever do they have like a House of Commons, whatever the fuck they have there.
Yeah.
Bring him there.
Present a sword to him on their knees.
Like an apology
and everyone
sword.
bows.
An apology sword.
And he holds it up in the air and goes, I am your king. And then just leaves.
Yeah, that's what they need to do.
Yeah.
They give him an apology sword. Okay, let's talk about Wallabies and Argentina.
Okay. Disappointed by that game. I wanted more. So many handling errors. And I'm disappointed by Argentina. Not because of anything they've done or said. They're just like, I get it. They haven't got the resources, the infrastructure to pull out performances like they did against the All Blacks a few weeks ago. I just wish they could be consistent in their performances because Australia did not look good for a lot of that game.
Right? That was Argentina's game to win.
It was Argentina's game to win. And then when Argentina kind of wrestled momentum back in the last sort of 20, 30 minutes, they couldn't hold on to the fucking ball. And I know it was raining and everything, but like, what are you doing, you know?
Mm-hmm.
What are you doing?
Yeah, there was just so many fuck ups.
There were. It was hard to watch because
over and over.
I really wanted a skill level that I forgot probably wasn't there. You know, coming from that Springboks All Blacks game, the skill level dropped a lot.
If you look at the stats in the game, they're pretty similar.
They are. They were very
across
evenly
the
matched.
board. Like the game, like these two teams were like pretty even.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I kind of felt like the whole time I felt like the Wallabies were going to lose. They looked tired.
Yeah.
They don't look aggressive.
No, their defense system is weird, isn't it? They just wait there.
Yeah, they have this weird, like, what the fuck are they playing?
It's like some kind of soak defense, isn't it? They just stand there waiting for you to come to them.
Yeah, and you hug them.
Yeah. And like Argentina will eat up space. They've got some sexy runny backs, like, so I don't know what
their problem is they're just too wild.
Yeah, there was no structure in that game either. Like the pods were all out of shape. There was so many knock-ons. It was hard to get a flow from either team. I don't think either team will come away from that game thinking that they're going to beat the All Blacks or the Springboks.
I don't know, like if you're what's it called? If you're a Wallaby, like, do you feel good about this game? Do Wallaby fans feel good about this game?
I mean, what fans?
Oh, Jesus.
No, I don't know. I think, they'll take a win. They'll take a win, right? They'll definitely feel good about a win. I think they'll definitely feel good about... What will they feel good about? Game management, maybe. They took their points when they needed to. They missed a couple of kicks, but they knew when to kick, which was basically every time the points were on offer. I think Joe Schmidt knows he's dealing with a really difficult situation and he's moving the dial towards successful really slowly with what the tools he's got. I think he'd be happy with someone like Valentini had a good game. Like he was a bit of a game changer at times. That's about it though. The handling was really bad. And Argentina, I'd be thinking like, poor Augustin Creevy, last game ever, runs out for five minutes to go.
Who's the player that took that fucking penalty?
Oh, the guy dived over the ruck at the end.
Yeah, fuck, that was dumb.
And then I don't understand. Maybe I just don't know the rules properly, but they stopped the clock, put the shot clock on for that final penalty. I thought there's about a minute and a half left. Then the game clock started during the shot clock, and then the clock went into the red before he kicked it. And I was like, what the fuck? Because me and you both said, they got time to at least kick the ball to try and get it back.
There was some clock fuckery going on.
I mean, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe the shot clock and the game clock run at the same time.
I gave it the benefit of the doubt.
But why stop it before?
I don't know. But I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I was like, something I'm missing some information.
Me too.
Here.
And the Argentinians were pissed about something. Maybe they wouldn't agree with the penalty call, but I don't know.
I think they thought that there was going to be time.
I thought there was going to be time.
But when you do something so fucking stupid like that guy lost that game. I forget who it was. Was it like fucking was it like Mako Vivas? Was it 17?
It was a bald guy. I can't remember. But yeah, I didn't. I think you saw it better than me because I was like, wait, was that a genuine penalty call? Because
he just dived over the ruck to grab the ball.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Can't do
and it was just so dumb.
Desperate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was just, oh my God.
Yeah, the discipline.
I would have been so mad at that guy in the locker room.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest, though, they were banging on the try line.
But still, that's going to happen in a lot of games.
Yeah, that's true.
You're up by a couple of points.
Yeah.
The other team gets all hyped up. They get to the other side. That. We've seen that so many times.
That's true. And there were so many handling errors in that game. If I'm the Argentinians, I'm thinking just be disciplined and hold. They will knock it on eventually. It's pissing it down, right?
Yeah.
You know?
They need to feel bad because they could have won that game. That was in their pocket.
Yeah.
That was in their pocket more than the All Blacks were with Springboks in my eyes.
Oh, 100%. Yeah.
And then just to give that fucking game away.
Yeah.
I was like, you motherfuckers.
I think, although it would have been a long shot, they could have won the Rugby Championship, and now I think it's out of sight in terms of the games won and lost, right?
Oh, yeah.
So that sucks.
They could have, because if they would have won both these games,
they would have been on par with the Springboks in terms of games won.
Yeah.
Which,
saying that if the Springboks lost,
I couldn't have seen them beating the Springboks. Maybe I couldn't have seen them beating them once, but what do I know? They beat New Zealand at home.
New Zealand.
So yeah, but not anymore. I can't see it now. So
it's like New Zealand is their England, their Scotland. They'll just play this amazing fucking game.
You're not far wrong there, honestly. They do get up for New Zealand, don't they? Yeah, they
when
really
it comes
do.
to New Zealand, they just step up to another level.
Yeah, and then they can't replicate that form.
It sucks. You're like, what the fuck is this, guys?
Australia at home,
Yeah, they're just missing, but they're inches away from being a great team.
Yeah, and I think we all thought when Checker left, they were going to crumble, but Ledesma doing a good job. So they're still all right. I was just disappointed by that game. I wanted something more. I wanted something more from both teams, and I didn't get it. I got a lot of fucking handling errors.
A lot of handling errors. A lot of exhausted faces.
They looked tired about 20 minutes in, didn't they?
Yeah. They were wet.
They were sloppy and wet, and it was silly. Yeah.
I think if you're an Argentine fan, I think you would have liked that game, and then wouldn't have been heartbroken at the end.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think the Wallaby fans were expecting more. Because they survived the game.
The thing is, Argentina have the evidence to prove that they can be an excellent team, and they've got the squad to show that they can beat the All Blacks. With Australia, it's like, where's our blueprint? Where are our rock stars? And to win that game, Valentini played well, I thought. But it's hard to find many players who are outstanding in that game, and yet they won it. So I guess I'm wrong.
You're only saying Valentini because it's the only player you know.
Carter Gordon, mate.
Carter Gordon's not even playing.
I know, I'm joking. But yeah, no, I don't know a lot about the Australian team, to be fair. But that's, how do I remember his name? Because he played well. You know what I mean? And it's fun to say Bobby Valentini in an Australian accent. I don't have a lot more to say about the game, to be honest, though. I wanted more.
I just know Joe Schmidt was wiping the sweat off his forehead. He's like, oh, fuck,
I don't think he's worried about anything.
He's like, we needed that, guys.
The expectation is so low for him. All he's got to do is show slight improvement, and he's doing that. He's doing exactly what they signed him to do.
If they would have lost that game...
Yeah.
If they would have lost that game, I was thinking, I was like, man, where do they... you had, three, proven successful coaches come through that system.
Yeah.
Right? If was it Dave Rennie?
Yeah.
Dave Rennie, Eddie Jones, now Joe Schmidt, and no one can fix this. This is clearly not a coaching problem.
Right. I agree. It's hard to Bit of a poison chalice going on there.
Next week, what's your predictions? Same games.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna
places.
go left field, and I'm gonna say All Blacks win the next game.
Okay.
But I do think Argentina will win. I'm gonna say All Blacks and Argentina next week. I'm never right though. So
I'm gonna say Springboks are gonna beat the All Blacks, and I think they're gonna like beat them. They're not gonna hammer them.
Yeah.
But I think they're gonna
they're gonna look in control,
and they're gonna control the game.
Yeah.
And they're gonna win this game, and it'll be like a 20-25 or 27 to like 20 or 18 kind of game there.
Yeah. The scoreline isn't terrible, but
yeah,
they always felt like winning that game.
Yeah, that's how I think they're gonna get even better.
I think
they threw some kids in and they did great.
They did,
and they got that experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like Springboks it's gonna be a controlled. They're gonna control this game. They're not gonna let the All Blacks start like they did. They're all pumped and ready for it.
Yeah.
I think this is gonna be.
I think kind of the opposite. I think New Zealand. I've seen enough of what they're trying to do that when those things go right, I can see it working. And I
just think they had the box scrambled at the beginning.
Yeah,
that's when I was watching the game. I felt like they had them scrambled a bit, and then they had to collect themselves and get themselves together. But after the box got themselves together and stuff, they looked fine. Even before their substitutions, I thought they were back in the game. They pushed a try right away.
Yeah,
after they scored.
Yeah,
they got back into the zone.
Yeah,
they just looked a little shell shocked at the beginning. New Zealand came out hot and hard.
Yeah,
I don't think they were ready for that, and I think this time they will be. I don't think they were. I don't know.
I don't know. We'll see.
And I think Argentina will beat Australia this time.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, me too. I think Argentina are going to feel like there were so many games that could have been otherwise. I think Argentina just have the tools to do it, and I don't think Australia do. But, they fucking lost the other day, so what the fuck do I know? We're going to do something else now. We're going to do Jersey Watch.
Is that
Jersey Watch?
Did you make the
episode?
Name?
Yeah.
Did you make the name up for that?
Yeah, just right now.
The Jersey Watch
Jersey
segment.
Watch.
We're going to describe verbally these jerseys.
And how much we do or don't like them. You don't like Jersey Watch, eh? You don't like when new jerseys come out? I love it.
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Yeah.
I'm just not it's weird because I buy jerseys all the time. I love them.
Yeah.
But I'm kind of not a connoisseur.
You don't have as many jerseys as you think you do. You think you've got this huge collection. You've probably got 5 jerseys.
I got 20.
Oh. I've never seen you wear more than 2.
What now, you little bitch?
I've seen you wear a Wales one and an Ireland one. And a France one. You've got a nice France one.
I got 2 French ones.
Yeah.
I got 2 Ireland ones. I got 3 Welsh ones.
Have you got any club jerseys?
I have a Sunwolves jersey.
Oh, that's a good one.
I have...
That's a Charizard shiny jersey.
Yeah. I got a Sunwolves jersey. I have a Highlanders jersey. I have a Munster jersey.
Oh, I don't think I've seen you wear any of those.
I have 2 New Zealand jerseys.
Yeah.
I have 2 Scotland jerseys.
Yeah. Oh, I knew you had a Scotland one.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I take it back. You've got a lot of jerseys.
2 Canadian ones.
Yeah. All right, you made your point. Calm down.
Yeah.
Did you see the new Wales jersey that I sent you?
Yeah, I saw it.
What do you think?
Yeah.
The Wales away jersey with the white and then the green and red trim. And then people are saying it looks too much like an England jersey.
It does.
Forgetting that a third of our flag is white.
This is the away one, right?
Yeah. Yeah, the red one, the home one's nice. It's classic,
I like the red, green, white. I like it.
I like it. Yeah, me too. What about the Cardiff one I sent you? The new Cardiff jersey?
I like this one.
Yeah?
Yes.
Me too. A lot of people don't like it. Weird stripes.
No.
I love it. I'm getting it.
Oh, I do not like this Osprey one you sent me.
The Ospreys are a psychedelic expressionist team, okay?
It kind of looks like it's giving me army camo kind of vibes.
Yeah, they always just fuck around. Do you remember in the 2000s you had Windows Media Player and there'd always be these like psychedelic colors splashing all over the screen? Yeah. That's where Ospreys get their jersey inspiration from. They just take screenshots of that and superimpose it onto a t-shirt and go, done.
I think rugby jerseys should have collars.
No, I don't like collars. That's one of those traditional things. I'm over it. I don't see why. Why would you want a collar?
It just looks classy. It looks slick. It looks sharp.
It doesn't.
It looks sharp.
Like you've got all the jersey is like skin tight. Yeah, back in the day when they were a bit loose and it looked like some kind of like dress shirt, that's fine. But like now they're skin tight and they've got little plastic dimples on them, and they got the sponsor. Put a collar on it. It looks like you've got pajamas on your bottom half and a suit on the top half.
No.
It's weird.
Yeah. It's like the mullet of it's like the mullet of jerseys.
This is the sport of weird fashion choices.
Business in the top, party below.
Just like the bogans we all are.
Yeah, I like a good collar.
Yeah, I know you do. I don't like a collar though.
Oh man, I don't know when I see like old videos of old games, these guys are wearing these jerseys that are like 10 times too big for them.
Yeah, they're all hanging off them. Yeah.
Like, what was that? Like a strategy, or
I just don't think they had the technology to make clothes fit you. You had medium and large, and you got on with it. You know?
Like they just didn't have the technology in 1992.
No, and everyone's the same size. Remember watching that Scrum video from the 90s? Like, from like the 80s and the 70s? Like, even the props, the wings, everyone's just the same size, same massive bushy haircut, same mustache and sideburns. Like,
yeah, they all look the same.
So you get a medium-sized jersey, and if it doesn't fit you, shut the fuck up.
Because there's, these guys, like, these jerseys are hanging off them. Yeah. It looks like a little kid is wearing his dad's clothes.
And they're like cotton. They're like thick cotton. And you can imagine, like, pissing it down. You go and score in the corner, and the corner try-zone is just a quagmire of dirt, like wet, filthy mud. And you've got this cotton clinging to you in the pissing rain. Like, that was those are the days. I just
don't know, like, what the thought process was behind those jerseys.
I don't think there was one.
Because they went from, like, if you watch games, like, in the 60s or 50s, their jerseys are tight. They have long sleeves, but they're tight.
Okay.
The jerseys are tight.
Right.
They fit the guys.
Right.
And then when you get to the 80s and the 90s, they're wearing these, like, baggy shirts and shit. You're like, what's going on here?
But you couldn't, like, go on the internet and order a bunch of jerseys for you had to call a guy the other side of the country, and you'd be like, I think Jim is a medium, and you better hope it fucking fit.
In 1980,
yeah, I mean, they didn't have the internet.
How did the fucking NFL do it? How did every other sport able to, like, make their
I don't know, the NFL, like,
uniforms?
they hide all the stuff under the pads.
Like, how did they
the jersey isn't fitting the human, it's fitting the pads he puts on. It's different.
Yeah.
Because you watch football, it looks the same. They're all wearing these baggy, weird things.
Only in America were they able to get clothes that fit. It wasn't until 2002 that Europe and the rest of the world caught on.
But you got to remember as well, rugby didn't go professional until the late 90s.
I could see why.
Yeah, but that's like you're comparing a sport which is long professional and established in the USA.
I'm actually, thank God I never saw this sport in the 90s, because I would have been like, what is this? This is like running with the bulls. Like, this is just clowny shit.
It was. Honestly, Wales in that is not only was it a ridiculous sport, we were also fucking bad at it. Like, it was a bad time.
And it's just like, like we were watching like the old shit, and the guy like comes in from the other side of the ruck. Grabs the guy and pulls him off.
And they just like, do you remember that one? There was a ruck, and the guy like cleat stamps a guy, rubs his studs all over his back, then runs over the top of the maul, does a flip, lands on the scrum half, and the ref is like, fine.
Yeah, the play is still going.
And the ref's just like, the ball got out. What more do you want? Like,
yeah. I was like, this is why this sport picked up everywhere else, because when you watch it, it looks like some kind of like weird tribal sport that like it
looks like a game a bunch of kids have invented on the schoolyard, doesn't it? And just
the whole town comes together, and you got one stone, and you throw the stone, and you got to fight each other with fists.
You've got to get the stone to Sean's post office on 23rd Street.
That's exactly.
And the other team, you've got to get it to the beach. And it was like, go. Like, what are the rules? Shut the fuck up.
It seemed like something like that. They're all wearing baggy clothes. They all fucking it was all fucked up. That's exactly what it looked like.
Yeah. So that was Jersey Watch anyway. Well,
Jersey
thanks
Watch.
for coming to Jersey Watch.
This week on Jersey Watch. Steve, do you like this green?
Do you like this jersey I sent you? Yeah.
That was riveting podcasting.
I had a good time talking to Jersey Watch today. There was a couple of warm-ups. They didn't tell me too much, though. But it was funny watching Glasgow get nilled by Zebra. That's all I had to say about that. That was pretty funny.
Zebra must have cheered like they won the championship.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, fucking did it.
Yeah. Up yours, Benetton. Rainbow Cup winners, my ass.
Fuck you.
Yeah.
I think we talked about everything we want to talk about.
That was a good one.
We're eating good.
I think, although we did an episode last week and me and you were like, we'll talk about anything rugby related all day, I feel like I put in a good shift today, whereas last week it was hard work.
It was a little dry last week.
It was a little dry last week.
Yeah.
We got the gravy back.
Are you trying to apologize to the listeners?
No. What listeners?
All right, friends. Well, you can find us on Twitter. You can email us at thefriendsofrugbypod@gmail.com.
Substack.
Like and share the podcast.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you want to say? You want to say some closeout stuff?
Diolch yn fawr.
whatever that means.
Just means thank you.
All right, friends, have a good one.
See ya.
you.